Zoning Board of Appeals. We'll start off the meeting this evening by We'll start off the meeting by standing up and saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Jennifer, I know we have a mix this evening of live attendees, live commissioners, and also virtual. If we could go ahead and do a roll call and determination of quorum, please.
Absolutely. And just as a reminder for those attending virtually, please state this city and state that you're attending the meeting from. Arnold?
Here. Walled Lake, Michigan.
Thank you. Easter? Gunther?
Here.
Rundell?
Here, Walled Lake, Michigan.
Thank you. Ackley?
Here, Alpena County, Michigan.
Thank you. O'Rourke?
Here.
Thank you.
And we do have a quorum.
We do, and I did receive correspondence from Chairman Easter that he was not going to be able to attend, so if you'd like to make a motion to excuse him.
I'd like to motion to excuse Mr. Easter.
Thank you.
And do we have a second?
Yeah, second.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor? Or do we need to do a
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, no opposition to Mr. Easter not being able to attend. Okay, so do we have any requests for agenda changes this evening?
No, we do not.
Okay, and if we could go ahead, if everybody has read their minutes from April 25th, 2022, if we could have somebody make a motion to approve that along with a second. Approval of the meeting minutes from April 25th of 2022.
I so move.
And a second?
This is Arnold, I'll second.
Thanks. And if we could go ahead and take a vote on that, roll call.
Gunther?
Aye.
Rundell?
Aye.
O'Rourke?
Aye.
Ackley?
Aye.
Arnold?
Aye.
Easter? Absent. Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Stewart, do we have any communications this evening?
No, we do not.
Okay.
No, we do not.
Any unfinished business? Okay, moving right along. New business, this is a public hearing, and this is specific for case 2022-06 for Mr. Pashko Siraj, I hope I pronounced that right. Location of 1544 North Pontiac Trail, parcel ID 17-26-376-010, and the requester is looking for a non-use variance. Now, this is specific to a fence that would be, or a gate, excuse me, that would run 18 feet across the driveway, 16 feet setback from the road, and requesting a variance of 5 feet. Now, the ordinance states that you can have decorative fences up to 3 feet with a 42-inch post, and what the applicant is looking for is a variance of a 5-foot fence extending across the driveway, or a gate, excuse me, across the driveway. So, can we move forward and hear from the requester?
Hi, Beppen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I was waiting for someone to say
Yes,
that.
sir. No, you're the requester. Please feel free. Go ahead.
Yes. So my name is Bethan Siraj. I'm going to be the representative for my dad, Pashko Siraj. So you were very close. Got the last name right.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're just looking to put that, as you explained, the 18-foot wide by 5 feet high front driveway gate. It's going to be 16 feet away from Pontiac Trail. It still gives enough space for someone that needs to turn around. It's just the main issue we've been running into is we have children that are always running around, my nieces and nephews, and there's cars that use it as a turnaround spot because we have a little loop around a tree, and so they come in and they use it to turn the car back around since Pontiac Trail doesn't have any place to naturally turn around in.
Okay, and so it is that tree that as you come in the driveway, it's to the left and the circular drive goes around that. You actually have companies or people in vehicles using that whole circle. They drive right up into your driveway and around and back out again.
Exactly, yep. So we don't know who's coming in, like who's welcome and who's just a random person trying to turn around. My parents are old. It's just a safety concern, especially with the little kids that come over almost daily. they're always running around front yard and backyard.
Okay.
So recently we've been telling them to mostly stay in the back because we're a little scared to let them run out in the front.
Okay, it's understandable. Now, the ordinance itself does allow for a 3-foot decorative fence, or in this case, a gate that would extend across the driveway with the 42-inch posts. Why wouldn't a 3-foot or a 4-foot fence serve as appropriate to prevent what you're actually asking for, and that is unwanted traffic coming into your driveway and circling around? What's the need for the 5-foot variance?
The only thing I could be concerned about there if we had to go 3-foot would just be that some of these delivery trucks are really riding high, and especially if they're doing it at night, they wouldn't be able to really see it. But a bigger gate is much more imposing. I mean, it's 5 foot, so it's not ginormous by any means. It's not like we're putting up the Great Wall of China. We were just worried that maybe it gets run over, and then who do we go to get compensation for that?
Okay.
If it's 3 feet off the ground, if there's someone driving in a delivery truck that's like a few feet off the ground, because you know how those delivery trucks, they have a higher seat, he may not see that.
Okay. What about other options? For example, first of all, I thought I drove by today. The arborvitaes look great. It looks like those actually could probably help impede trucks.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does. It looks really sharp. Everything out there does. Would there be other options, like, for example, maybe putting some larger boulders off to either side of the driveway, or other options? Have you looked into anything else, even signage, perhaps, of private property?
Signage? No. So in terms of, we haven't put up any private property signs. It's just that ever since the day my parents moved in, which was like a year and a half ago, it's almost 2-3 times a week that someone just comes in and just does a little loop around. And most of the time, no one's really home, but I mean, we have kids over all the time, so we can't control when people do that. But in terms of that, you're asking, what would be the other solution you're thinking of? So those boulders, they would either block the driveway. I don't know how they would stop someone from coming in, you know?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the angle of the turn into the angle, because I had to do that at home one time, and it helped. But I just wanted to hear some other examples, trying to exhaust every option before we look at variances specifically.
Gotcha. But the only thing I'm thinking is that the boulders, so like if we put those in there, that really wouldn't stop anybody. But we're not trying to stop people from turning around per se. We just don't want them coming all the way up to the house where we don't know if it's an intruder, if it's God knows who it could be. We're still going to give them that 16 feet is more than enough for a car to turn around should they need to use it.
Because that does sit on the...
car needs to turn around, they can still use their driveway, and if they wouldn't be coming up to the doorway to the garage to where children could be running around.
Sure. And then also the 16 feet, I was trying to visualize that would sit behind the arborvitaes then, correct? Or would that be, would you?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And then would there be required, would you be asking for any electrical service with that in regards to having an automatic gate that slides open or opens up like a double gate?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So it'd be electric. Okay. We can go ahead and open up to any questions to the commission. Mr. Rundell, Mr. Arnold, anybody sitting here, if you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I guess I have a question. So, going back to the 5 foot versus the what the current ordinance allows, is it a specific model that you've selected already, or it's just it's this idea that perhaps
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I just wanted to see if this is just what you had selected, and then you found the ordinance after, or how, or is it solely based on the fact that your fear of not seeing it? Because I mean, a 3 foot fence, I should hope any reasonable driver would see it.
So originally we did find the 5 foot fence. It's just that very hard to find a 3 foot fence. And then number two is just that is a concern that somebody does run that over. I know 3 feet, you think it's ridiculous that like somebody should be able to see that. But at night, and if you're in a delivery truck a little higher, I don't know if you guys know that Amazon can start to deliver at like midnight sometimes now. So we're just worried that I don't see what the 5 foot fence, what's objective about that. I don't see what your guys is like, what concerns do you guys have with a 5 foot fence is my question. What is the concern there that it's a little higher? Because it is a hollow fence. Like, this isn't a Great Wall of China. Like I said, you can see through it. They can see everything through the house. We're not blocking out the neighbors. We're just honestly just trying to protect the driveway. Only visitors that we have invited can come up the driveway towards the house. But anybody that needs to turn around will still fully be able to turn around. There's 16 feet of clearance there for them.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a couple questions.
Okay, go right ahead, Mayor.
Okay. First of all, there's nothing in this paperwork that I found that indicates exactly where the lot line is in reference to the plantings or where the fence is going to be. I don't know if it's going on the lot line, ahead of the lot line, behind the lot line. We have no actual drawing, which is very unusual. So I'd like to know where this fence is going to be placed.
In terms of the lot, we distinguished how far away it was from the neighbor's lot and how far away it was from the road, which would be the end of our lot.
I'm talking about
What
your
lot
front
line?
lot line. Where is the fence in relation to the front lot line? Is it on the lot line? Is it behind it? Is it towards the road? Where is it at?
It's behind the lot line. It's
By
16
how
feet
much?
away from the road. 16
I'm
feet away
not
from the
talking
road.
about how
So
far from the road. You're not understanding my question. You have a lot line. You own up to that point. Where is the fence in relation to your boundaries on your property?
it would be behind our lot line. It's well into our property. It's behind the trees, which are into our property.
Well, I haven't seen a survey. I haven't seen anything on this. There's nothing turned in with this packet, which tells me that
They
this
said all you
fence
need is a rough sketch.
isn't going
when I
on
spoke.
right away. And then my second concern is the height of the fence. I guess I have more faith in drivers. I've had a gate at the foot of my driveway for 45 years, and I haven't had a delivery truck run over it yet. Whether they deliver in the daytime or the nighttime, if they're turning off a Pontiac Trail, they're going to see that a gate is there. I think 5 feet is extremely high for a residential area, and I'm not so sure about the width. I could live with the 18-foot width if it's tying in with the arborvitaes, if they're actually not over the lot line. I'm not sure about that. But 5 feet, I could see a 3.5 feet gate.
One of the members of the board came and drove by the house. Did the arbor trees look like they were over our lot line?
You know, I wouldn't be able to tell you that because I don't know where the lot line actually exists from the road. That's variable as the road is laid out and where your lot line actually exists. So I wouldn't be able to answer that.
I think we need the actual, they must have a survey if they bought this house. We need to see, as we have with many of our variance requests, we need to see it laid out and where this is going on the property. We could be sitting here tonight putting it in the county right away.
Yeah. And that's a very fair and true statement that Ms. Ackley is making, sir. So it does. We have to ensure that it does sit behind the property line.
I mean, if those.
And I think we really need to look to an alternative to a 5-foot fence, gate, or whatever you're calling it, at the end of this driveway.
Maybe the issue is at 5 feet. If we get under 3 feet, we don't have to go through any of this.
I didn't hear what he said.
If
The ordinance.
we go under 3, if it's 3 feet or less, I can put any type of front fence I want.
Yeah. So section
It's on my
51-20.
lot.
So section 51-21-13A, fence and wall requirements for a single family, the decorative fences is 36 inches is the maximum height, and the permission location is on any yard. Of course, it does have to be within the perimeter of your deeded lot. But yeah, it's right there in that ordinance, 31 or 51-21-13, maximum height of decorative fences, 36 inches.
It has to be a decorative fence, not just any fence that you want to put in.
Yep. I sent a schematic of the fence we're putting in. It's a decorative one.
Yeah, it looks like that's.
That's the questions I have, Mr. Chairman. I have some very, very concerns on this.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else on the commission?
I agree with the mayor as far as the site survey needs to be done. And the dimension that he's saying, if it's from the edge of the road, it isn't going to meet the property line. From what I can gather, that road is pretty wide, probably the right of way is probably 60
really
feet.
Far. I wish I had my camera on me. I'd take you guys out front and show you where it's going to go relative to the road. It's definitely on our property line.
But we need documentations for our records.
That's fair. Completely fair. I understand that.
So Van, can we table it at this point and wait until the survey comes in that shows exactly where the lot line is versus where the fence proposal is requested?
Yes, you can make a motion to postpone a decision on this case until the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, if we go ahead and take a roll call vote on that, please.
Is there
Rundell,
any way to do it without
Yes.
having to motion it, because you guys don't meet for another month?
That's correct. Yes.
In the meantime, you'll have
Is
to
there any way
provide.
to log into the Zoom chat, and I will honestly come out there.
Can you say, I'm sorry, sir, can you start over, please?
I'm sorry. Is there any? I'm sorry. I was saying, is there any way for me to get onto the Zoom call and put my camera on so I can show you exactly where it's going to be?
That's not going to work. It has to be it has to be a written plan, a survey,
Okay, got it.
because it needs to show the right of way from the road to the property line, what the distance is, and then where yours is from the property line. If it's forward toward the road, it's wrong. If it's toward the house, it's okay. So, but we have to see that.
And the surveyor will usually put flags out, or will put flags out on that spot where the property line is. And then from there, your pictures and such, we can revisit this request.
I thought I heard the applicant
And
suggest that if they went down to the 36-inch fence, then
Yeah.
they would just go through the
Yeah.
normal fencing request, and then they would just show the survey that way. Is that correct?
So yes, that would be for the fence. That would be for the decorative fence, but there still needs to be the established property line to ensure it's not on the
Yes.
county piece of property, or of course, in this case, it wouldn't apply, but impeding one of the neighbor's property lines.
So yeah, I think the point being, he would not have to wait for the zoning board again if he went to the 36-inch fence, got the survey, and then did the normal fence application.
That's correct, Commissioner Arnold.
Okay. Yes.
Good clarification. Thank you for that.
Mr. Arnold. Yeah, we'll go with the survey. We'll put it on the board for the next one if you guys are okay with that. I'll talk to my dad and see if he's okay with a 36-inch fence. In which case we wouldn't have to do. We still have to do a survey apparently.
Correct.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, there's a motion to table, which should be no discussion after a motion to table.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. So we've got a motion to table this until the next meeting. We did have a second, correct?
yes.
Okay. And if we can go ahead and take a roll call vote on that?
Rundell,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Ackley,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Gunther,
Yes.
Easter. Okay. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any other further discussions this evening?
Not that I have.
And no audience? Okay.
If the applicant would provide a visual, what am I trying to say? What the fence will look like he did on the drawing he showed before. If you can show what it looks like, and so we can see with the decorative.
Did you guys
fence
not
looks
get a schematic of it?
No, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Schematic
We did.
of the Oh, okay.
This would be, though, the new one would have the property line clearly defined, and then also the 3-foot fence, that decorative fence that you'd be installing.
Is there a
Yeah,
decorative fence around there?
You guys also need a picture of the 3-foot decorative fence or the 5-foot decorative fence?
3.
Why would that have to go through the zoning board? If it's 3, that's That was what I was here for. So the non-variance is that it's 5 feet instead of 36 inches. That would just be for the permitting, correct? That wouldn't be going through the board again.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, if it's through, yeah, that's fine.
Sir, you would have to submit a fence permit, and then we would evaluate that application and make a determination as to what was required based on what you presented.
Okay, well, I'd be presenting that to you, or I would be presenting that to the city, as in like the permit guy I already spoke to. Jim, I think's his name. That's what. This is all because we wanted to do 5 feet instead of 3 feet, correct?
Correct.
And then if we wanted to go through just doing a 3-foot fence, I would just go through a normal building permit of adding a regular fence, or at least it would fall under that, and they'd be able to approve it or deny it. It wouldn't have to go through a zone boarding meeting.
Correct. Okay, with discussions, no further discussions, we'll go ahead and adjourn for tonight. If we could take a vote on that, please, Jennifer?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
I
adjourn.
move.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Gunther. You want me to do a roll call on adjourning? No.
Don't need to. Okay, the meeting is adjourned.